we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means, on infiltration instead of invasion, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. There is little value in ensuring the survival of our nation if our traditions do not survive with it.
All right, welcome to episode 147 of The Abuse Hour. It is I, your host, Coffee Long, coming to you unsupervised, unmedicated, and an unchecked threat to society. So, yeah, new year, new mental illness, up and running in 2026. I don't know if you did anything good for New Year's. I myself did not. Anyway, so yeah, I'll tell you, I know there's always around the holidays, there's just a content desert, and that's a drag. I didn't want to do it that way. I got a little bit sick, and then it was 1,001 things, planes, trains, automobiles with the fucking holidays, of which I'm not a fan. But yeah, that's over with now. I'm patched up and back up and running. I'll tell you what, dude, for the new year, I got I'm not a fan of, resolutions per se, but I did get eyes on a couple things that I thought were pretty cool, and I put it in play the last couple weeks or so, and I'm getting some good results. So one of the things straight out of the gate is like you hear dudes running on about the seed oil thing, and I kind of I was always like, all right, great, dude, I won't buy, P. Diddy seed oil, grape seed oil, or canola oil or hydrogenated, whatever the fuck, man. Fine. I just won't buy that stuff if that's, if you guys say it's a fucking thing, whatever. Apparently, it's actually a no shit fucking issue, man. This shit is really not good for you at all. And I saw this short video referencing an actual study, not just a guy in a little doctor hat saying I just came out of surgery and I want to let you know about something I just now noticed while I was cutting some motherfucker open. They're talking about this deal where, for the longest time they're telling you hey, booze will really fuck your liver up. You got to not be drinking booze. It'll fucking destroy your liver and this and that and the other. And then what this study is saying, though, is that, look, the big liver damage where you're seeing really fucked up livers and you say it was because people are drinking. Some kind of a group effort, I don't know, but, a better word for it. But between seed oils and alcohol, there's some kind of a way that it works together and it really fucks your liver. I don't know how. I'm not sure why. That's just what they're saying. It's like a combined effect. But they're also saying that these studies they do on mice, and I realize people are not mice, whatever. They're saying that when you stop taking, you stop consuming seed oils, that now even if you keep drinking, or the mouse, when the mouse keeps drinking, your liver could still repair. You just got to stop taking, stop consuming these seed oils, and then that's really the conduit between you and getting really fucked up. So I don't know if it does anything, does it do that with anything else? That was kind of my first question. Okay, it does this with alcohol. What else is going on that this stuff will really fuck you up on? So I started looking at dude, you really want to tighten your diet. Instead of looking at the packaging, just flip it over and look at the ingredients, man. Because I swear I do this and I'm I'm not eating this shit. I don't know what the fuck this is. But when I do that, I start seeing it dude, there's everything. Sunflower oil, safflower oil, soybean oil, canola oil, in every fucking thing. I don't know why. I don't know what it does. I don't know what it's meant to do. But from what I'm seeing, all it does is fuck you up. Maybe it adds I see it's in a lot of bread type products or, things that got to sit on a shelf for a while, like pretzels and chips and this. But, man, I was holy shit, dude, this is in fucking everything. But honestly, dude, I'll tell you, I'm not a dude to be oh yeah, this shit works. I did a round of the juice of a very long time ago. So when I say something works, that's my benchmark for holy shit, this works 10 motherfuckers. You definitely know that shit's working. This is not in your head. So when somebody gives me like any kind of like supplement or something, I'll take it and be like, dude, I'm not doing this baby aspirin thing. It's pretty fucking this. I always think of it that way. I saw this movie a long time ago called Go, and it's like some like 90s rave kid kind of movie, or maybe early 2000s rave kid kind of movie. And there's this scene where this girl rips off this fucking dealer, and she's getting pinched by the cops, so she flushes this shit. And then the guy comes looking for her. She's like, oh, fuck, I got to get this money back. So she goes and buys a shit ton of baby aspirin. And then she's going to all these raves and shit. Well, like when people used to actually go out in public and hang out with each other instead of just texting, this kind of thing. But she's selling all this baby aspirin. She's like hunting down like knuckleheads, you know, like people that don't know the fucking difference. Like not hunting down proper druggies, like just hunting down shitheads. And it's like, hey, you want some really hot shit? This is this shit. And she's selling them fucking baby aspirin, and she's like, you know what? It works really good, though. Like, if you take it and then slam your drink and then smoke a lot of weed on top of it, it's really smooth. And they're like, oh, yeah, that's great, you know? So I always think of it this way, and I think of these supplements, and it's like, yeah, bro, if you hit your program really good and you're sleeping a lot and your nutrition is spot on, you're going to get a lot out of this. Like, no shit. So pretty much any of these supplement kind of things, man, like the peptide things, any of this, I'm like, is this like baby aspirin? Am I getting fucked around or what? But the seed oil thing, like since I've been looking and taking real good care and making sure not to consume any of this shit, I ain't gonna lie, dude, I'm seeing fucking results. And between that and, you know, here again, you know, baby aspirin, but between that and cutting out anti-inflammatories, and I also got on enclomiphene. Yes, I'd read up a bunch on that shit, and I'd been looking for a while to get on like just straight tea. But then everything I saw was like, all right, well, if you get on this shit, like you're injecting this shit so your body stops producing it. So now once you're on it, you're pretty much on it. And again, I ain't Mr. fucking Pharma, so don't take this like I'm reading it out of the Bible. This is just my very limited understanding. But as I understand it then, is like you start taking tea, you're on this shit because you're not producing it, so you got to get it from somewhere. So this is you on this shit. This enclomiphene shit, on the other hand, the idea here is that I don't completely understand the mechanism of function here, but for whatever reason, it causes you to pump up your own testosterone production. It does make you a little sleepy, though, I notice. Like halfway through the day, I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to take a nap. I can't lie on this shit, man. Like, there's gains. I'm into it. And again, this is like the baby aspirin perspective of like, I'm not going to say like, oh yeah, bro, it works. I can totally feel it. I slammed this whole fucking bottle of vodka and yeah, I feel a little shitty. This stuff, it comes on smooth. But no, seeing solid gains, dude. Hitting new weight limits. I'm getting fat. Yes. No, not really. Other than that, though, yeah, the circus has resumed. I'm on the way back to the airport. I'm still waiting on like a couple clients with these shekels, dude. I will tell you, like I was talking about, dude, some of these, you bust your ass. You bust your ass to try to get to a level where you're working with high dollar clients. And then you get in here with high dollar clients and it's like a whole new set of headaches. Where like $1 billion organization is talking to you about, yeah, you know, shoestrings, budgets, you know, we don't got a lot of money to throw around. Like, don't fucking bullshit me, man. Don't lie to me. So I've actually got this gig that's supposed to go down like next month, but now I still got this gigantic organization, high dollar organization, all hinging on one asshole, one fucking guy that's like, I don't know, I might go out of town and fuck around for a while. Everybody just put everything on pause. No one do anything till I get back. Guy, like, the problem here is you. Your problem is obvious. I'll tell you, so far, 2026 hasn't disappointed. It hasn't disappointed. I'm going to the airport. It's not zero dark early as fuck. So that's a nice change. The nothing ever happens thing has already been chopped off. Like that got broken off straight away. Here we are invading, Department of me and you, right? Invading Venezuela. I want to say I'm not too sure what to think of it, but I know what to think of it. This is a racket. This is a scam. And for my money, looking at the people that are clapping their hands like they're getting paid to do it, they're probably clapping their hands because they're getting paid to do it. You know what I mean? So long and short, if you if you haven't been living under a rock, the U.S. kicked off a quick invasion of Venezuela, did a body snatch on the president of the fucking country, and spirited him away back to New York, back to the MCC, I think it's Metropolitan Correctional Center, if I'm understanding that, if I'm remembering that right. In any case, MCC, same place where Jeffrey Epstein did or didn't punch his own ticket, and is being held there awaiting drug charges, drug and weapons charges, possession of weapons for use against the United States, some kind of shit like this. I'm train wreck serious. I just heard this morning. And this entire situation, I mean, there's a lot of smoke and mirrors. There is a lot to unpack. Just in this simple act, there's a lot to think through in terms of what does this mean for now? What might this mean for later? There's a lot to think through here, man. And off the top, I would say that the big takeaway for my money is basically these tiny hats saying we can do whatever the fuck we want. I don't care about your laws. I don't care about the implications. I don't care about economic impacts. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. So the situation then, as it played out, was that I saw a quick timeline, and then I also heard Trump's description of the situation. And I'll tell you, as with everything, there's a little bit of shit talking here. It doesn't appear to have gone down exactly the way they're talking about. What it looks like, well, the way they describe it essentially is that we hit any way that they could stop us from getting in there. Guys got in there. They're saying they sent Delta. Okay. I don't know why they feel the need to dime motherfuckers out. But the other part of this is like this was an operation coming off of a ship, and you sent the Army instead of the Navy. A little bit of a slap in the face. Maybe somebody didn't get their balls cupped properly. Who the fuck knows? Or maybe we're taking turns or some kind of shit out here. I don't know. But for whatever reason, they're saying they sent CAG. Basically, it didn't sound like this thing ran too long. It sounds like they basically set down a helo at the fucking presidential residence, palace, whatever the fuck you call it, wherever the fucking president lives, sat down there, pulled the guy out of his bedroom, as they're saying, yeah, pulled him right out of bed, bro, and took him out to the helo, packaged him up, and took him away. Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's suppose then that this was going to be an opposed body snatch, right? Well, actually, let me start it this way. On the intelligence side, the rule of thumb is that even when you're working in a third world country, even third world countries are trained by first world services. So you can never roll into a third world country thinking that, like, yeah, they're going to come at me with fucking spears and sticks and a rock. Right? Because you have to fucking imagine that at some point, some first world country that wants something from these people taught them how to do things the right way. So step number one in this instance would be like, all right, you've got a fucking president. If this guy had any kind of support, you would imagine that he has, like, as soon as there's an early warning of like, hey, there's an invasion on, something's going on, the fucking radar all stopped working at once. This should be an indicator to you. So in a sane world, you would snatch up your leadership, take him away somewhere, and hide him out. And like, yeah, here, stay here. The idea that you would ever leave like through the front door, like, oh shit, somebody's coming. Sir, get your jammies on and we'll head out the front door. I'll get somebody to pull the car around. That's like some day one shit. Like that's not happening, dude. There's going to be like you're behind the bookshelf, ladder down to the fucking garage and out to wherever the fuck, and you're going to make your getaway. Somebody's going to have thought this through. Well, conceptually, yeah, you'd say like, well, third worlders, dude. But again, third worlders are still usually trained by first worlders. So it's difficult to, like, the idea that, oh yeah, we snatched him out of bed. Fucking stop. Just fucking stop. Two, the idea that he was found at his house like this, and they're already saying, people are saying, like, yeah, they had somebody that was diming him out, letting the U.S. know where the guy is, what he's doing, when's the ideal time to roll in here. Another account I heard that the guy basically gave himself up. And that makes sense insofar as, like, look, if we have to, like the pitch would be, look, if we got to come and get you, if we got to go totally hot on retrieving your ass, then a lot of people are going to get killed. A lot of things are going to get fucking broken. Don't be an asshole. Just come and get on the fucking helicopter when we pull up. I guess if you're staring down the barrel of, like, the U.S., if you're being honest with yourself, like, you're a third world shitbox country. These fuckers pull up with the entire fucking Navy off your coast, sending some of their top guys onto your fucking lawn and saying, hey, come the fuck out here or we're going to start hurting people to bring you out. That, yeah, you could see that. That makes sense. Whether you want to say it's okay or it's cool or it's legal or any of that shit, you could see the fucking logic of, like, all right, dude, all right, let me come out here. Let's not make shit fucked up. You could see a guy doing that. I could see a guy doing that. The idea of if the guy decided, like, get fucked, I'm not coming out, I have a very, very hard time believing that you're going to get into this fucking place in any kind of short order. Eventually, any kind of breaching problem, you're going to get through there. You're going to get fucking in. As I recall, the Trump was talking some kind of horsecockery about they had to do a fucking breach on some door. A big steel door, a big fucking steel door. Our boys got through it, not a big deal. No, dude. If you've got some kind of presidential level panic room, there's probably, again, like, you're going to take hours to get through that thing. I mean, I've seen motherfuckers work a breach problem that's like, okay, here, look, let's talk breach problems real quick. The idea here is you're in this fucking room, in this house, in this structure. I want to get in or get you to come out. And you don't want that. So, short of, like, just welding doors shut, a guy does something like this, a lot of times you could just go through the fucking wall. Like, you go to, like, an average house, right? Like your stucco, your drywall, your, whatever the fuck, normal fucking wood and stick fucking house, right? You go to your average house, a guy puts up, like, a giant fucking door with the New York lock and all this shit. All right, I'll go through a window. If the windows are all barred up, I'll go through the fucking wall. Because what is the wall, dude? It's like maybe some fucking plaster, maybe some stucco, 2 sheets of drywall and some 2x4s, dude. There's nothing there. So, a lot of times this is what you're staring at. But when you're going through, like, you're going to train on this fucking, legit fucking breach problem. A lot of times, if you put up, like, a solid core door, like a door like your bedroom doors, you feel it, you knock on it, it's fucking hollow, right? It's hollow core door. You put up a fucking solid core door, you put up, like, locks at the top, bottom, whatever the fuck. And a lot of times in the way that'll get defeated is with a strip charge where it's a 6-foot strip of explosive and it'll blow that door right in fucking half. So it don't matter. Like, the hinges are going to flop one way, the locks on the other side have 10 fucking locks. It's not going to fucking matter. Where that gets fucked up is where you have, like, them ghetto style screen doors. It's like the solid mesh, like, not like the fucking mosquito net type shit, like solid mesh, or, like the fucking steel mesh, like, screen door, like that solid fucking thing where you can't break it and reach in and unlock shit like you would have in, the hood. So you put one of those on the outside, you lock that fucking thing, and now you got a solid core door on the inside. This is going to make shit difficult. I mean, and this is not a monster fucking problem. This is not the end of the fucking world, but this is going to be like, yeah, it's going to take a second, dude. We're going to have to get some fucking tools up here. We're going to have to figure out what the fuck's going on. A mistake on this, like, you're going to fuck yourself up. So the deal here, quickly, is you got a couple different options as far as breaching. You got, like, your surreptitious entry where you're gonna get out your lockpicks and you're gonna James Bond this motherfucker. This I would not do. I would never fucking count on this. A halfway decent lock, you're gonna stand there half your fucking life. All right, this is gonna take a fucking while. You got your mechanical breach and your explosive breach. An explosive breach works like I'm telling you. where you're going to put up some explosives. It could be a big fucking chunk of explosives. It could be any variation, like different permutations of explosive. Anything from like a small, what we call door popper, that you would use inside a structure so it doesn't overpressure and fuck you up and fuck up somebody that maybe doesn't need to get fucked up. But you also got like your big fuck off charges. Probably won't. Let's don't get into detail on that. But we'll say that there's large ones like this strip charge I'm talking about, and that's not any kind of secret sauce. But there's other ones where like you'll have this thing propped. Like you'll bring a fucking stick to prop this thing up against the fucking door. So when you light this thing, it's gonna throw this whole fucking door into that room, and it's gonna fuck people up. The deal on that, again, like with the screen door, now you've got like, all right, well, I can't get this charge flush against that door because I got this fucked up screen door in the way. Can you get this screen door out of the way? Yes, you can. The issue here then, it comes to one of our last options, then the mechanical breach. And it's not, I don't mean last options as in like, this is the only thing I have left. But, the third option, mechanical breach. And this is where you've got tools. So you've got like your sledgehammer. You've got a thing called, it's spelled like HOTLINE tool, but it's, people call it hooligan tool or just hoolie tool. And the idea here is that you're going to put the duckbill piece of that tool into between the door jamb and the door. You're going to get the sledge, fucking slam it in there, and then you're going to just pry that thing open. However, that only works on doors that open towards you. The other cool part of this is the verbal confusion that comes talking about, is it an inward opening or an outward opening door? And I guess the usual rule of thumb, and this always becomes like well, wait a minute, it depends. Where are you? The door that you're working on, does it open into the room you're trying to get to or outwards away from the room you're trying to get to? So just referencing the room you're trying to get to, because you could be outside a structure, guys will say it's outward opening, inward opening. You know what it means. As soon as you're in a room, guys will start fumble fucking and like, wait, you mean like inward towards me? Because I'm in a room. Is it opening into the room or is it opening out, away? Wait, out, away, is that out from the room or out from me? It's like, dude, just the room you're trying to get to. So if you've got like an outward opening door, you can use this sledge and hoolie situation and pop that thing open 9 times out of 10. However, if a guy gets fucking frazzled, like you go up there and you don't know that you've got this fucking screen door situation or, any kind of fucking shielding like this, a guy can get fucking frazzled. And like, and the quick rule of thumb is just look at the fucking hinges, man. Where are the fucking hinges? This will tell you. Guys get frazzled, though. Maybe they didn't expect to see this shit. You want to get in there quick, maybe before, the president is sliding down the fucking bat pole and making his getaway. But a guy will come up and look at it, and he'll be like, all right, inward opening door, bring me a fucking sledge. And a guy comes up with a fucking sledge, and the idea of a sledge is you're going to fucking pound this thing and knock it in then. But what you're not doing is a guy hasn't looked at the fucking hinges. And what he needs then, he needs to pry the door towards himself, right? Because instead, he's just going to stand there slamming on it. He's going to tell a guy, he'll either take the sledge or he'll tell somebody, you got the sledge, hit it right here. And the guy will start fucking hammering, and it's fucking dark, and maybe nobody's paying attention. And now you're just pounding on this door, and you're only pounding it a way that it doesn't fucking go. And worst case, you wedge this fucking thing in here where now it's going to be a real motherfucker to get the thing open. And now you're going to spend even more time fucking with this. And all the while, the guy is, your guy, Carlos the Jackal, the president, whoever, is fucking escaping. So you don't want that. So you get this thing fucking open. If this shit gets weird, you can bring up a saw, like a big fucking carbon fiber saw, and start sawing through shit. But the idea here is that a fairly simple door can turn super fucked up super fast. So when you're talking about like, we went to the palace and we had to do a fucking breach to get this fucking guy out of here. Dude, if they didn't want you in there, if there were measures in place to keep motherfuckers out, you're not going to fucking get in there, man. And when you finally do, you're not going to get in there in time to get the guy. He's going to be down the fucking road. He's going to be out through the fucking bushes. He's going to be in a fucking Daewoo Prince headed off towards the far side of town in a little helicopter or some shit. And I mean, that ain't a fucking knock. That's just a fucking fact, man. That's just a fucking fact. This idea that, like, yeah, we fucking snatched him up. Look, dude, in all, it was an impressive piece of work. Like, you turned off all the fucking lights, hit some key nodes of resistance or whatever the fuck, and got in there and pulled out your guy. However, you can't come and say that, like, oh yeah, it was totally opposed, bro. We fucking had to snatch his ass out of there. Never saw us coming, bro. Like, that's it's not fucking honest, man. The last thing I'll say about this, about the breach problem thing, because I just thought of this and it makes me laugh to think about it, is sometimes when you can't get into a place to get a guy, sometimes it's easier to get them to come out, which in this case it would not work, because 99.9% likelihood any, world leader type residence is going to have lots and lots of fucking back doors, some secret passages and shit. In a normal situation, when a guy is like welded in there, because I haven't been on, I saw some video from some deals where some fuckers had like welded themselves in to this thing, and it became like, yeah, you're going to be at this all fucking day, like sawing, sledging, all this shit, trying to get the guy out of there. And then somebody has the idea of like, wait a minute, instead of us trying to get in, why don't we just make them come out? So instead, they just cut like a little hole in like the weakest, like the wall. Like, you got the fucking door all welded shut, and that's terrific. But what these dudes are going to do instead then is they're going to cut just a small hole, and then they're going to start shoving smokes through this fucking hole. So now, it is funny. You can't not laugh at this shit. So now, though, instead of you're fucking sledging and yelling and hammering and shit and trying to get in this fucking thing, now these people are like, they're figuring out a way out. There's a way to get out of there. There's some fucking, you go up and down and around and back and through. There's some way to get out of there. They're not telling you what the fuck it is. But the situation then is that these people are like, fuck this, I got to get out, man, because now the fucking place is filling up with smoke. And the gag is that, like, this smoke shit, it's not, I mean, it's extremely uncomfortable. It makes it real fucking hard to breathe. But it ain't fucking poisonous. It's not going to fucking kill you. But it does suck a lot. So you do this shit to people, and they're going to be like, yeah, fuck this, I'm out. And they'll figure out a way to get out of there. So that's actually pretty funny to watch, man. It's like smoking out rats. It's a good time. However, though, again, like if it's a world leader type situation, there's already going to be more than one way out, and they've got a fucking plan, and this, that won't be an option. So beating that horse to death, okay, I think we beat that, plenty. But now they've got the guy they've got him in New York, and they're talking about, yeah, he's going to face drug and weapons charges. And I got to be like, what the fuck is this, dude? Because like we saw with the Russia situation here, Ukraine had launched some weapons towards one of the Putin's residences, and people are talking about, yeah, usually that's just considered bad form. Like, we don't do that in the first world. We don't attack the leaders. Which to me, I'm kind of like, well, wait, what the fuck is this then? Like, you're gonna call me to go fucking fight? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, I want you to go fight, but I don't want to be involved. Well, motherfucker, then you're already involved. Like, how are you gonna sit this one out? Irregardless, though, that's just been, so far as I understand, that's just been the way that it goes. You don't go after the actual, like, leader. You leave them people be. So that was when you saw this with the Ukraine situation. That's one of the points where Russia really ramped up, and they're like, you know what, now, fuck you, we're going to come after your ass. And then nobody really said anything about it. Of like, sorry, that's just the way it is. Nobody really said that, because this is the way that business is done. It's like this kind of wartime etiquette or some shit. However, we're doing this thing where we're not just going after world leaders, that we're actually going into their country to snatch them up. they're talking this thing, first this thing with like weapons, drugs, whatever. Are we saying that like anybody that says, yeah, I'll kill any American that invades my country, if I get that guy in my sights, are we doing that now? Are we doing that to every country on the planet or just this country? If somebody ever has acted against Americans, because this guy, who did he ever go after? And I ain't fucking Venezuela. I didn't lose my wallet in Caracas. I'm just saying, what did this guy ever do? What did this guy do to warrant this action, right? Oh, well, he had weapons and he's an enemy of the U.S. Okay, well, how about a guy that has actually attacked American interests or American allies? But now he's recognized as a head of state in Syria and he's invited to the fucking White House. What is this shit? Are we not playing by the same rule book over here? Like this guy has not just said, this guy has actually done. This guy is part of an organization that has attacked Americans, attacked American interests, attacked American allies, bunny ears, allies, whatever. But if these are the rules you're going to invoke, how the fuck do you turn a blind eye? Not just turn a blind eye, you invite this guy over for fucking tea. But this guy over here, you're going to go into his house, snatch up him and his wife. This is not cricket, my friend. I have to ask myself then, like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is the real story? Because this fucking story of like, oh, it's weapons, oh, it's drugs. Dude, drugs, are you fucking high? Are you high right now? Fucking drugs. There's drugs from all over the world coming into this country. You say you got a concern about drugs coming into this country. One, start doing something about that. Do something about the drugs, the distributors, the distribution networks that are already here. I actually talked to a dude that was that I knew in high school. Like the New Year's thing, you call people, and this guy hit me up. I had talked to this guy in years. And he's got a son that's working in Alaska on one of these fishing boat deals. And he's talking about, yeah, dude, my kid, he got mixed up in drugs a little while. He got straightened out. He had to get off that shit. I'm like, in fucking Alaska? Like, what the fuck is in Alaska? He's like, dude, everything is in Alaska. There's nothing else to do there except get high. And the networks run all the way up from South America up through the States like it's on a fucking pipeline, dude. And they are set up shop in fucking Alaska to distribute to everybody there. So someplace, and I ain't from Alaska, dude. I think there was somebody in the chat maybe that was from Alaska that knew about this shit. And you just, like, help me out, dude. Help me out if you got more details. But he's talking about, like, yeah, dude, these people are set up. This is not some one-off shit. Like, there's shit coming in on the regular. So I'm like, dude, you're set up to come into the States, through the States, into Canada, out of Canada, back into the States again, and move this shit at a volume that can give people a fucking problem. How are we not starting there? Why don't we start with what's already here, So you're like, I'm going to clean up this neighborhood. Your fucking house is a shithole, but you go to your neighbors instead, and you're like, hey, fuck stick, do something with your yard. Dude, why don't you start at your house? Why don't you start at the catastrophe that you live in and deal with that first? So, I mean, dishonest already. And now we can look right across the fucking southern border. Fucking proper narco state, dude. You got this Jewish broad running the show down here. And surprise, surprise, during her fucking election run, more fucking candidates than during any election in history got assassinated. And now here you are, fucking running the shop there. So you can't tell me. Like, these are easy places to start. You don't even have to fucking take the Navy to do this, man. You could take that place over in an afternoon. Fucking sledgehammer that place. Fuck that place. And really, that would probably be the smart money. You would have all the fucking resources. You would have the resources. People would be happy as clams that the drug situation had been at least not completely handled, but appreciably mitigated. Yes? Because if nothing's coming through Mexico, shit gets infinitely more difficult, right? If Mexico is handled, the intrastate network is handled, okay, well, you can go to Venezuela if you want, but don't tell me that that's what this is about. Okay, that's obviously fucking bullshit, and it's silly. It's silly and it's painful that fuckers keep running with it. And I've seen otherwise intelligent people, like I see some of the bro vet outlets, dude, the fucking And you know what else I've noticed is a lot of these bro vet outlets, it's not the fucking wholesome, take charge in the boardroom, be a good father, this kind of shit. That's us. We're the ones saying this shit now. A lot of this bro vet flavor is now like more the apocalyptic, like, I'm ready for doomsday, bro. Let's fucking go. Are you, though? Fucking are you? Because you look at some of these outlets and they're talking like, yeah, fucking America's back, bro. Back from fucking what, dude? Back from fucking what? You still pay to fucking fund the entire world. You still get drugs shoved in front of every kid in every school because there's nowhere fucking safe in this place. And you're still having to compete with third world turds from every corner of the fucking planet just to get a job at fucking Kinko's. So where's the we're back part? Where's that fucking fit in? But they're all about it, man, and they'll fucking tell you like, yeah, but bro, and I got into it with one guy in some fucking like YouTube video section, and he's talking about like, yeah, but bro, the fucking drugs, he's killing his own people. I'm like, dude, killing his own people, bro. Are people dancing in the streets? Do they chant "Death to America"? Are people fucking throwing you a parade? Is America back? Get the fuck out of here with this. I mean, dude, I want to make a T-shirt with some of the top fucking Ziocon fucking phrases of all time. Like, he's killing his own people. He's gassing his own people. They chant "Death to America." America is back. Fuck around and find out. Fucking stop. Fucking stop. Stop to the part where I can fill up my trunk with groceries for less than $300. Get to that part, all right? Otherwise, miss me with this shit, with this fucking, and that could be our fucking shirt. Miss me with that gay shit. Anyway, so yeah, no, it's not about the drugs. It's about, you could say again, it's about the oil. It is about the oil, but it's not about getting the oil. It's about nobody else getting the oil. Because as you've seen, like your Russia had advisors in there. China's doing what China does. They're like ants. They just get into things. They destroy things. They don't give a fuck. They're not worried. I mean, you could say, oh, the white man is exploiting and colonizing me, dude. You haven't been ass raped by the Chinaman yet. Keep at it. See how it pans out. So, yeah, I mean, dude, if you haven't seen that Empire of Dust fucking show on YouTube, I think it's only on YouTube now, but it's Chinamen in Africa. It's hilarious. And to see Chinamen who don't give a fuck, they're like, I want this shit. I'm paying you. You better do this shit. Stop breaking my stuff. They don't give a fuck. The Africans don't care. They're like, the Africans steal shit. They bust up the trucks. You hand them a fucking safety helmet. They take it out immediately and sell it for $5 so they can go get a beer or whatever. They don't care. And it's hilarious because it's like, neither of these people give a fuck. The Chinaman doesn't give a fuck if he's sledgehammering these Africans, and the African doesn't give a fuck if he's ripping off these Chinamen. So it's hilarious. But now you get these Chinamen pouring into South America, and your immediate concern is that they've got access. One, they've got access to the world's largest oil reserve. But two, they've got access and a willingness to sell this shit in currency other than dollars American, which, if you will recall that I've beat on 100 fucking times, that is the petrodollar. That is why America can be off the gold standard, why America can produce essentially nothing, but the dollar will still remain valuable because all petroleum around the world is bought and sold in dollars. So wherever petroleum is happening, that's people needing dollars. So I don't mean at the gas station, fuckwit. I mean like anybody that's pulling oil out of the ground, you're going to buy and sell this shit in dollars American. And this, this extends not just to like you're pulling it out of the ground. This extends to like you got to ship it somewhere to get it refined, because that happened for a long time. And I don't know the degree to which it still happens. But I know for a while, at least when I had looked at it, Russia was shipping oil to the U.S. to get refined. So all the talk about like fucking sanctions and this and that. Yeah, but you want them fucking dollars American. So they're going to be all right with like, yeah, but still ship it over here. We'll refine your shit and you send it right back out the door. So why would you not do this shit in-house? Why would you do X, Y, and Z? I guess there's different kind of oil in different places and different refining methods. And I don't pretend to know anything about this shit. All I can tell you for sure, though, is that where oil is concerned, a lot of these little bitching rivalries, that shit starts taking a back seat because, like, yeah, okay, that's great, but we all got to eat, right? So let's fucking keep this oil thing up and running. However, then, Russia, China, the BRICS situation, right? They've had instances where people are buying and selling in currency other than dollars American. And that, like in a real big hurry, if your China got a hold of this Venezuela oil and they said, all right, dude, we're basically replacing Saudi. We own Venezuela now, and we're going to buy and sell this shit in Chinese yuan. Oh, fuck. What are you going to do now? So now your Saudis are going to be out of business. And, and not out of business, but it's going to put a big fucking kink in the action, right? Like your solid gold toilet, that's fucking gone. Your ability to pay off all these countries around your butt buddy Israel, that's going to fucking vanish. So that's going to go right back to the third world. You're going to be right back on the fucking camel within a generation because these people don't know how to save shit, right? These people live fucking hand to mouth customarily, dude, and you hand them $1 billion, they'll spend $1,001,000. They don't give a fuck. So Israel's going to be fresh out of fucking friends, when that money stops flowing. And on top of which, the only people that they could count on to save their asses, their tiny-hatted coin-clipping asses, their currency is now worthless. So they can't afford to buy all the bells and whistles. They can't afford to develop all of the missiles and the rockets. They can't afford to sail an entire goddamn armada off your fucking coast to make sure that you can commit genocide in peace. All right? That shit's not happening anymore. You're going to be fresh out of fucking friends. So from the perspective of these tiny hats, it is fucking imperative to get in there and make sure that China and Russia does not get their mitts on this fucking oil. Because, yeah, it's not, and it wouldn't happen tomorrow, but it would be on the pipeline, practical joke, right? But it would be coming down the tracks. And, I mean, if I could see it, you could see it. The people moving the money can see it, right? So they're going to be like, yeah, look, dude, the fucking Saudi situation, the fucking Middle East situation with that oil there, that's going away. America, they're going to be in decline. So what's on the way up? Well, let me put my money over there. Let me get in on the ground floor. And this just speeds up the process. So you could see where this would be, objectively, especially from the coin clipper perspective, this would be objectively important to get on top of immediately. So that, for my money, is why they dumped all of these resources into, like, we got to get in there, we got to control this fucking thing. Your Trump then, like, they immediately swore in the vice president, but your Trump now is talking about, well, we're going to control it for the foreseeable future, and we're going to control it until we can, figure out a safe and legal way to hand it back over, which essentially to me means that, like, we're going to run this thing the same way we ran Afghanistan, the same way we ran Iraq, which, if you like, sort of equates to straight into the fucking ground because, yeah, you've got a puppet government in there. And, for all I know, the deal was like, we're going to arrest this guy. We're going to make a show of force. People are going to know that we're in fucking charge. You can go ahead and stand up there and wear the sash and, trim the mustache and bang the gavel and do whatever South Americans do. But don't make a fucking mistake. We're in fucking charge. Looking at it objectively, I guess it is kind of the smart move because your average third worlder, I will imagine, is going to be like, well, so wait, is America in charge or are we in charge still? Because that guy was still part of the government, so who's actually in charge? And just leave people kind of flat-footed. Like, if we came and swept out everybody and put in like a whole new fresh government, well, you could see where people would be like, yeah, no, fuck this. And then there would be, why don't I take charge? Why doesn't the military take charge? How about some gangster? He takes charge. Now, the people that were already in charge, they're still in charge. But most likely then, if your coin clipper approved Trump is out there talking about, yes, but we're in control, that's probably what's going on. But what does this mean coming down the road, dude? I guess if I look at it, completely objectively, this does seem like it would have caught your China and your Russia kind of flat-footed. China just doesn't have the balls. I mean, they got the manpower, but I've seen these fuckers parallel park. They're not up to it. This isn't fucking happening. So China, no, get fucked, dude. And plus, this is a real long fucking ways away for you, and they don't do that expeditionary warfare thing like the U.S. does. So I don't really see that shit happening. I mean, they got a little ass island off the coast that's already populated with Chinese people, and the best they can do with that is talk shit. No, I don't have any confidence in what you're able to do. I don't fucking see this happening. Anyway, your Russia then, is it possible? They got a much smaller population. I respect the Russian, but again, they don't do the expeditionary warfare thing like we do, and they're already neck deep with this fucking Ukraine situation, which they basically have to take over all of at this point because there's been this talk about, oh, well, we'll wrap up now, and then the U.S. will provide security guarantees. Oh, yeah, what? So if this kicks off again, now we got to deal with the U.S. too? I got this other idea. How about I just take all of it? How would that be? I think the U.S. is going to really resist that kind of shit because from the looks of it, they're basically ethnically cleansing Ukraine so that they can carve out Israel Part 2, is what this smells like. But again, that remains to be seen. So the thing I wanted to wrap up on then, I guess, is looking ahead, dude. There's already been, there's so much talk. There's so much talk about shit going completely sideways. I think for the longest time, it had been strictly our domain to talk about, like, what does collapse look like? What angle is it going to take? What timeline is it going to follow? What measures do I need to put in place? This has pretty much been our thing for the longest time. Now, though, it seems more like, dude, over New Year, it was like a lot of people are talking about this shit. A lot of people are talking about, like, I'm not going to pay my fucking taxes. I'm seeing this, there was like a few hashtags going around. I think it was like tax strike 2026, no taxes 2026, some shit like this. And people are talking about, I'm not going to pay my taxes. Some of the hilarious shit I saw going around on the gram, they're talking about, like, yeah, bro, you just fill out this form. See, like, I think it was like your I-9 form or whatever the fuck one it is that you fill out, when you take your job, right? You get your job, you put your information, your name, your social, your address, and your number of exemptions, right? And then these people are talking about, no, bro, see what you do is instead of putting like a number for like you have 3 because, you got 3 kids, so you put 4 because that's 3 kids plus yourself, or like if you're married, and you got 2 kids, and you put 4 because that's you, your wife, and your 2 kids, or whatever the fuck, right? You put your number of exemptions, right? No, instead of that, they're saying, oh, you write exempt down here at the bottom, and then they're going to enter 0, bro, and then you just don't pay your taxes, bro, because tax is voluntary, bro. I'm like, dude, you're coming down the road of this sovereign citizen shit, and no, fucking no, all right? And I can tell you, one lesson I've had to learn the hard way, dude, having your own business is you learn that doing things cheap gets very fucking expensive. So my fuckwit, one of my fuckwit business partners, this dude brought on, this was a long time ago, had this fucking Indian accountant. And he would swear by this motherfucker and like, bro, I'm telling you, I can't remember the guy's fucking name. It doesn't fucking matter. Raj. His name is Raj Singh. Raj Singh, bro. He's incredible, bro. He does my personal taxes, bro, and he did my in-laws taxes for their business, bro. And this guy is fucking incredible, bro. He's amazing, bro. And this fucking Slipknot, man. One year, well, this guy would like. You'd have to tell him every fucking year. Like, yeah, if you have like 2 kids, you got to go tell him every fucking year. Yeah, I still have 2 kids, idiot. Don't put fucking 0 in there. I'm going to get fucked up, right? Or, if you have no kids and this guy turns off everything, hey, it needs to be this. You got to tell him every fucking year. He won't leave it like what it was last year. He might put something totally fucking random in there. Like, why is this oddball amount getting taken out? Oh, because I think you'll say that you have, dude, stop. Stop doing what you think and just do what I ask you to do. So the dude would do wazoo shit. Some years he would zero it out where like I'm not getting any taxes taken out of money that I'm making. And I'd have to be like, no, shithead, you have to put fucking something. Oh, well, you can just pay the IRS directly. I'm like, yeah, I could do that, or I could pay a fucking accountant to do this fucking shit for me. So some of it comes out every time I get paid. I don't got to go to the end of the month and then fucking start doing math. Why don't you do this shit? It's what I pay you for. Oh, you said that. That's okay. I can do it. I can just put it in here if that is what you want. Yes, that is what I want. Asshole. So finally, 1 year, this asshole, I get my fucking taxes done through this idiot. And this fucking guy, he does my fucking taxes. And then he calls me. He's like, I need you to come in here. We need to talk about what is happening here. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my taxes are all fucked up. And the IRS is sending me fuck you letters and like, you're not disclosing what you're actually making. You need to make this right. And I'm like, well, you're my fucking accountant. What is going on here? And the dude is like, well, you see, you did not give me your your W-2. You did not give it to me. I'm like, you fucking moron. You generate the W-2s. You generate W-2s for everybody that works for my fucking company. You asshole. Where's my fucking W-2? Oh, well, I can make this right. It is not a problem. So this guy does this, and now, like, accountants apparently have this backdoor deal where they can call the IRS. Like, if you call, right, because I've had to call the IRS before, and you're going to be on that phone all fucking day, dude. Like, you'll sit on hold, and they don't give a shit. Like, they'll go to lunch and come back. And then, like, oh, hey, can you keep holding? Like, fuck, dude, come on. But, like, accountants, they've got, like, a little hotline to the IRS. So this guy, he calls. He has to send him a fucking letter. I see a copy, pursuant to our conversation. I get a copy of the fucking letter, and the letter is like, yes, my client neglected to give me his W-2s. Please allow this, And I call this guy up. I'm like, hey, asshole. Don't fucking try to call the IRS and tell them that I am fucked up. You were the idiot that was supposed to generate this thing. You looked at all these other people that I work with, and then you looked at my fucking account, and you completely forgot to like, oh yeah, this guy, Coffee, where's his W-2? Oh, maybe I should print it out and add it in here. You were the one that fucked this up. You need to make it fucking right yesterday. And I shit you not, to this day, my fucking account with the IRS is still fucked up for that year. It's still at like, oh yeah, we don't have any, you didn't make money this year. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I'm like, dude, I hate this motherfucker so much. So I'm like, all right, dude, you're fucking gone. And I had to have harsh words with the business partner. Like, look, you're fucking hot tip, bargain basement, Singh Raj fucking accountant. If I don't fucking put this guy in his own trunk, right, you got to fucking get rid of him. He needs to be replaced yesterday. All right, man, goddamn, dude, you don't got to get so pissed off. Apparently I do. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? So, yeah, so the IRS, man, like, they will come after you for this shit. So, like, if you don't pay, like, the minute you stop fucking paying, right, if you say, I'm not paying fucking taxes this year, you're making money, they're not making money. If you don't go and kick in money, at the end of the fucking year, there's going to be a fucking penalty of like, hey, asshole, we wanted that fucking money. We were going to make money loaning out your money, and we didn't get to do that. So now you're going to fucking pay. Like, you're getting fucking strong-armed here. Like, you're being robbed. You're being shook down by gangsters. There's no question about this. The fucking embarrassing part, though, is motherfuckers that think like, you see, bro, you just write exempt right here, bro. And now you're fucking good to go, bro. You are fucking yourself in the ass if you do this shit, all right? To that end, if you want to do something like knowing that probably there's going to be a penalty involved, there's going to be fuck games involved, if you want to play that game, if you want to get on board and be like, yeah, dude, I want to be part of like, what they would call, a larger movement, and we're going to jerk the IRS's chain. They can't come after all of us, bro. Oh, really? This shit is automated, dude. You didn't pay. You owe. It's not like one guy at a fucking desk trying to figure this shit out, right? Again, if you want to do this shit, if you fucking feel like it, I mean, honestly, if I had a couple extra dollars to fuck around with and like, yeah, dude, I'll break it off in their ass a little. I'll be a pain in the ass. If it works out this year where like, yeah, dude, I got a couple extra dollars, I'll jerk their chain. Yeah, cool. Jump on, man. Yeah, I'm not paying any taxes throughout the year. If it folds this way, then I'll pay the little penalty at the end, then cool. But what people are talking about is like, I'm not going to pay taxes this year. When the next year rolls around, I'm going to defer for as long as I can. So when like April 15th comes around, I'm going to put in like a fucking deferment of like, yeah, dude, I'll pay it off down the road, bro. Shit's hectic right now. I'll get to it when I can. Knowing that you're going to fucking incur penalties if the IRS doesn't collapse, you're basically placing a bet. You're betting a few $1,000s that the IRS collapses, right? Probably you're going to lose that money. If millions and millions of people, granted, if millions and millions of people do this, yeah, they're not going to be able to keep up. They're not going to be able to send your money to fucking fake Somalian daycares. Which, by the way, I guess some Jewish some Jewish she-judge, just put some shit in place to help conceal details and information and probably routing numbers and, Hebrew assistance going to all of those fake Somalian daycares. Like, imagine my fucking shock, right? In any case, yeah, you can make your fucking bet on that and see if it shakes out. I mean, it might, if it picks up speed, it might be something, cool. All right. But at present, I don't know that I would make that bet. I think, even people that would entertain it are going to be like, yeah, that's great, dude, but I can't afford to get fucked around by the IRS. I got to keep the fucking lights on. So, yeah, I got to play ball with the Jewish gangsters shaking me down every single month for a piece of my money. Dude, some woman had asked me about this a few days ago about like, how bad is it? Like, is it really as bad as people are saying in terms of like how much you get ripped off out of your paycheck every year? I'll tell you what I told her, man. It's worse. It's worse than you can possibly imagine. So in the U.S., you're paying to get medical insurance. When you go get something medical done, if insurance says, yeah, fuck you, man, I'm only paying so much for this, you're going to cover the rest. 9 times out of 10, there's going to be like, yeah, you pay insurance, but you're also going to be paying, you're going to pay a big piece up front too. You're going to be paying for a lot of this shit until that amount runs out, and then the insurance picks it up. And again, that's the insurance picking it up if it's something that they're going to cover at a doctor that's part of their, network or whatever. So you're going to do this with medical. You're going to do this with dental. You want to go to college? You want to go to a good college? You're going to pay for that too. You want to live wherever you want to fucking live. If you live somewhere nice, you're going to be paying a bunch of different fees and assessments on top of the property tax that you pay to live in the house that you bought. If you're going to rent, well, then guess what? That amount is going to go up every single year so that you can stay just on the cusp of like, this is what I can afford. Now you compare that, and I ain't your communist shill, so let's get that out of the way up front. But you compare that to communist Russia, right? The absolute practical joke, fucking whipping boy of the 1980s America. Like, yo, what do you want? Communist Russia? Is that what you want? Like, look at 80s movies, dude. Like, I was alive during this shit. You want to laugh? Look at some fucking 80s movies. Everything Russian is fucking stupid and backwards. East Bloc women, they're clunky and chubby and good God almighty. Can you imagine? How horrible would it be? Right. But now we see, like, those broads are hot, dude. And when we look at the economic side, I looked this shit up. You can look this shit up yourself. The top tax bracket in Soviet Russia, like, you're going to be taking home some money, right? You still work, you still take home some money. The top tax bracket was 15%. In the U.S., the top tax bracket is 37%. And that's just federal. That's before whatever state you live in gets a hold of you. Now, mind you, some states have no income tax. I looked at this shit. When I moved out of California, I looked careful, like, where am I going to get the most bang for my buck, dude? I got to move smart. I'll suck it up just so I'm not getting bled dry, right? You look at some states that have your lower income tax bracket or no income tax as a state. Those are the states that blast you in the ass on like property tax, right? So a lower property tax, they're going to have a higher state income tax. There's other places like California where they're going to fuck you on both of them, but whatever. The rest, normal in normal life, there's going to be a little bit of a balance there. So you're going to either be paying heavy for your house or out of your pocket or both. And that's after the federal government gets done with you. All right. So you're talking about, you're talking about 40, 50% at this point. So about half of what your fucking bringing in is going right back to these people. And this is before you even try to go spend any of this shit. So now you go fucking spend this, and now you're looking at another 7 to 9%. Depending on what you buy, if it's a house or a car, you're going to pay taxes every year on that thing. And it could be a shit ton depending on where you live. So you compare that now. Like you're paying in excess of, 50% of every dollar you bring home just to fucking exist, right? Just to fucking stay alive. And that's before you even get food in your mouth, all right? And you compare this to like your Soviet Russia of like 15%. And yeah, dude, I understand. Like, yeah, they didn't make shit. The state tells you where you're going to work. They tell you where you're going to live. I appreciate all that shit. I understand all that shit. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the straight numbers, though. If you're smart, they're going to let you go to fucking college, right? If you're Tyrone and you want to be, you want to be on a debate club. On a debate club, you want to be that fucking shit. That I'm going to imagine you didn't see at any kind of state-funded, state-run college. Oh, look how smart they are, these brilliant baboons. No, that I'm guessing did not happen. So if you're a smart character, they're going to probably send you over there. Granted, again, if you're an enemy of the state, you're going to probably not get a ride to college. However, in the U.S., you're getting the same fucking thing. And all you got to be is white. It's like, so one, if you're white, that's already a strike against. But if you're some kind of political dissident, you're not getting that fucking ride to college, dude. You're not going to even get allowed in. They might actually try to bring some kind of criminal charges with you if you utter the dreaded N-word on campus. You're going to lose whatever money you paid to them, and then they're going to try to have you fucking arrested, right? So understand, like you're entering some other world where you're drunk, some girl is drunk, now that's rape, and they're going to see about trying to charge you for rape. Wait, that's in real life. That don't work quite that way. Well, it does in college. So watch your fucking step. This is where you're at in the States. So yeah, I can understand, you talking about going to some kind of Soviet college, dude, this is what you're up against. Well, dude, again, look at what you're up against here. A lot of the same shit. Plus, you got to pay out the ass for the privilege. So I think when people do get a good look at this is just how fucked you're getting, maybe people do get on board and they're like, you know what, yeah, I'll make that $1,000 bet and see if we could topple this thing. I don't know how that shakes loose, but what I wanted to get at is that looking at some of the talk that's out there is that these kind of discussions used to be exclusively our domain, that we were the ones talking about yeah, dude, this is how shit could go wrong. Here's how things could all go tits up. Here's kind of the timeline we're on, the tracks we're going down, and so on and so forth. But so many people are talking about this now. I think it's time that people like us start talking about what does it look like when it stands back up. Because I could see one viable way that they're talking about, or like this Shlomo, what's his dick, some Israeli Palantir guy or some shit, talking about or no, that guy wasn't a Palantir guy. He was, he's like some Israeli cybersecurity guy, Shlomo something or other, talking about we have to start looking at the First Amendment. We have to start thinking about what's best. We want to promote laws. Like, motherfucker, what are you talking about promoting any fucking thing? You're from some other fucking country, dude. And I think, again, the idea here is let's shut America off and let's turn it back on without this First and Second Amendment bullshit, because that's really throwing a wrench into things. I think the Venezuela thing, if they did it before anybody thought of it, they could probably do it quick and yeah, America fucking failed, but we're going to restart. We're going to stand this back up. We're going to draft a quick constitution. We're going to do X, Y, and Z. Okay, see, everything's back to normal. Lights are back on. Everything's cool. I think if they managed to do that, they would be able to pull that off. But if guys like us are there to say no, motherfucker, you're not going to fucking leave out these items, or we take certain steps, whatever the fuck it is, to keep the lights off long enough so that people say okay, we need to really think careful. Not literally lights literally off, I don't mean, but to keep things a little bit unstable for long enough that people have time to think of like, all right, man, when we turn this back on now, let's not act too quick. Let's make sure there's not, a literal foreigner is deciding what you are or are not allowed to say or allowed to own and so on. I don't have specific thoughts on it, but generally that is something that I have in mind, is that we need to start thinking more towards what do we do when the lights come back on? What shape is it going to take, when they try to make their move? Because like Venezuela, we kind of see how that unfolded, and okay, the lights are off, the lights are back on. Yay, and it took less than a day. And everything's fine, except we're in charge now. We don't want that here. We don't want that to happen where like, yeah, the lights are off, now the lights are back on, Shlomo's in charge, you better watch your fucking mouth, and mandatory gun buyback. Surprise, fuck sticks. Right? So that's what we don't want. Anyway, I think I got to get in here to the airport. If you dig this, it's available wherever dodgy content is purveyed. Make sure that you kick down for Above Time Coffee. They don't fund me. I just shill for them. Above Time Coffee, a product made by white people for white people. Put it in a cup. Put it in your mouth. It's for you. If you want to leave a message, talk some shit, you can leave a message on the Abuse Hour hotline at 833-227-3314. That's 833-BEAST14. So until next time, man, keep your eyes on the horizon, keep your neck out of the noose. I have been Coffee. These are my takes.